Hello, shiny happy people. Welcome back to my channel. I am the Cinema.Sewist, and on this channel, I am trying to create a cinematic wardrobe combining the two things that I like the most, which is fashion and movies, utilizing a little bit of creativity and a lot of dedication. Now, on today's Cinemake, I have, again, a special make, but hear me out. This is a little bit different right now. This make is going to be one of my Make 9 for 2023. This is the only wildcard I had in my Make 9 because I was nailing it down to Halloween. Now, we are getting closer to October, which means it's the favorite time of year for me, which is Halloween. However, I had plans for this year's Halloween, and they were all based on movies. So I had different ideas for different costumes, and I would have shared that as a Cinemake. But it comes with a bit of a heartbreak of mine that I have to announce that I will probably not be able to celebrate Halloween this year for reasons. Instead of that, I am making something that is a good basis for a Halloween costume should I decide to celebrate after all, or should I get the opportunity. Let's more say it's more of a time thing than I always want to celebrate Halloween. Halloween is great. But I've now decided to go with another make that is experimental. It is very challenging, and I'm doing a couple of things that I have not done before. Again, challenging myself again, which is also part of a Make 9 challenge. You should challenge yourself to do something you have not done before. And this year I am doing an outfit based on the movie or the movie trilogy, The Matrix. And I'm going to do a little bit more explaining during the outfit portion of this video. But this is like the main theme. We're going with the Matrix. We're going to make an epic outfit that could be part of the Matrix world. On that note, let's just jump right in. The movie, the outfit, the fabrics, the patterns. Let's go. All right, so we got the movie The Matrix. The Matrix, the first movie, came out in 1999, and I grew up on this movie personally. It's part of my teenage years. And when I watched it in cinemas, I was blown away by it. It was probably the coolest thing I've seen that year. This movie brought out a couple of things in movie making that were very quickly copied so much that people got tired of them. One of them is like the bullet time movement, or like the super slow-mo, and all of these very actually interesting visuals when you first see it in the Matrix, but it was so overdone over time that it's like a joke that you tell too many times and people just get tired of it. So not that the Matrix is a joke. They made it a joke over time because of its, yeah, it was the basis for a lot of jokes, I think, over time. But irrespective of that, it is a very cool movie. I still think it's a very cool movie. Now, the movie was so extremely successful. It was made on a budget of I think $63 million, which is in today's standards not much, but for 1999 that was quite a lot. And it grossed around 460 million worldwide. So it was a massive success, and everyone was talking about the movie. Keanu Reeves, he was already big because of Speed. This catapulted him into a whole new dimension. And that was his first super success after Speed, which would then only be topped by probably now the John Wick movies. But it yeah, his character Neo became kind of like a symbol of cool with the trench coat and everything. I had a trench coat like that, or like a coat. It wasn't a trench coat; it was a coat, a black coat, black long coat. My mom made it for me back then because I really wanted one of those coats. And yeah, it was a certain look and it was a certain time basically. And in I think 2002 and 2003, the other two movies came out, and they're a whole different other story because probably it well the movies were always meant to be it was always meant to be a trilogy. So this was created by the Wachowski brothers, now Wachowski sisters. Back then they were brothers. And it was always meant to be a three-part series, but they only shot the first movie, and then they quickly produced, after the massive success, they produced the other two movies, and those were shot back to back or kind of intertwining together. So it was a big production with the two movies being made at the same time. On a trivia note, I was very looking forward to those two movies, not only because of the first movie, which I loved, but back in the day, it was announced that the singer Aaliyah would have a part in the movie as well. And very unfortunately, she died in a plane crash, which meant that she was not in the movie after all. And I was really gutted. I would have loved to see her in the Matrix movies. May they be whatever they are. I think it's kind of like it's probably they got overexcited with their whole story as it is. And I must say, a couple of years ago, it was like, yeah, 1.5, 2 years, there was a fourth movie made. I haven't watched it. I heard very mixed things about it. To me, I would rather keep The Matrix in that time period with the three movies and be done with it. As disappointing as the third movie may have been for people, and full disclosure, the third I went even so far with the third movie that I only watched it on TV once it came out on TV. The first one I watched in theaters. I watched the second one in theaters, and I was really impressed with some of the stunt work. It was great, like chases on motorcycles and everything. That was really, really cool stuff. But with the third one, for whatever reason, I didn't really bother. Um, but yeah, enough rambling. So The Matrix, it is, to me, a cult classic, kind of a mirror of the time it came out. And it is so funny, just on the trivia side note, I had once made something for work and referenced The Matrix, and I actually met someone and she did not know The Matrix. And I felt so gutted because I felt like, oh my God, I'm so old. Mind you, she's younger than me. So in all fairness, okay, if you're born in the 90s, chances are you may not know The Matrix, released in 99. To me, if you're a movie enthusiast, you kind of have to at least see the first one. That's kind of a given. But yeah, that's the basis for my outfit today. So yeah, that's about the movie. I mean, the story itself, it has a lot of themes of, they're comparing it often to the story of Alice in Wonderland, and Neo, portrayed by Keanu Reeves, being like Alice, going down the Matrix into that Wonderland where he meets Morpheus, played by Lawrence Fishburne, who then opens him up to the possibility of knowing the truth or going back into the Matrix and just stay kind of in that world of being, yeah, being in the unknown, right? You plead ignorance, what you don't know, it's like cannot turn you on in any way, shape, or form. It has a little bit, I feel, also themes from, although that's a very different movie entirely, um, a little bit of the tone of They Live by John Carpenter with this, yeah, do you really want to know? Do you want your mind to be opened up to the reality as it really is? So it is, on that note, it is also a very, I find the story very interesting. It was portrayed very well, and there's a couple of, going with the theme of Alice in Wonderland. In the beginning, you have the white rabbit, and the first message he gets is to follow the white rabbit, which turns out to be a tattoo on a lady, and he has to follow her, getting more into that world. I think, if I remember correctly, he meets Trinity first, portrayed by Carrie-Anne Moss. I might be wrong. I think I need to rewatch it. It's been probably 15 years since I saw the movie. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a long while, and especially because of that, it was, yeah, parodied, and it was referenced so much that people eventually got tired of it. But anyway, let's move on into the actual outfit, because that's even more interesting. Okay, so the outfit that I'm planning, it is actually, it is not based on Neo or Trinity or Morpheus, just right off the bat, just so you know. Although it might have a little bit of a theme from, yeah, from Carrie-Anne Moss. She is wearing a coat which has a little bit of that look that I'm going for in the front. Pull up a picture here. But what I'm going with actually is an outfit that is completely, it's not in the movie. If I want to reference it or pin it to a character, it is probably going to be the Persephone outfit. And Persephone is a character in part 2, and I think in 3 she's as well. Portrayed by Monica Bellucci, the ever gorgeous Monica Bellucci. I love Monica Bellucci. In case you didn't know, yeah, she's my woman crush. She is, yeah, I love Monica Bellucci. So, that being said, I'm choosing that character of Persephone. Persephone? I think it's Persephone. It is very hard to say in English. I think I kind of have it in my head in the German version, so it's kind of like the inflection is different in English, so Persephone. Anyway, and well, she's wearing one outfit which, no, I'm not recreating that. This is like, hello, but it has an element of what I am using in terms of fabrics for my outfit. So it kind of goes there, but it doesn't. It has a little bit of the Trinity, but it doesn't. Now, the second inspiration came from the YouTuber, The Closet Historian. I think she made like 1.5 years ago a two-piece suit with the combination of, I think she used cotton pique and a vinyl spandex for color blocking. And I'm trying to do, I'm trying to copy that a little bit. Well, I'm copying it. Let's be real. I'm copying her idea because I found it so genius. It's like, I want to try this out, but I'm making it my own. Another inspiration that I'm throwing in there is one of the Closet Historian's inspirations, and that is Thierry Mugler. Now, Thierry Mugler happens to be also one of my favorite fashion designers. If I had to pin it down for my favorite fashion designers, it would probably be Yves Saint Laurent and Valentino and Thierry Mugler. and then Karl Lagerfeld, Chanel as well, but mainly those three. And I did see the iconic, it's called the Iconic Blazers by Thierry Mugler, with the midriff that is kind of sheer and then has like panels in it. It's a little bit like a corset, and there it is front and back like a corset, but I'm making it a little different. But that is kind of the first inspiration I had. Now, mind you, I got to throw this out there because I'm still working with patterns that I buy, and I'm going to hack them into what I want. We're going to hack all the way into what I have in my head. And I will try to make a little sketch to show you what I'm thinking about for the Persephone. And I'm going to call it the Persephone. Why not? It is going to be a little bit of the combination in the front of the Thierry Mugler Iconic Blazer, but in the back, it's going to have a different Thierry Mugler inspiration, which I think kind of works with that theme of the Matrix. I'm thinking a lot about the part in the Matrix where Neo actually takes the red pill and he wakes up in the real world. He's waking up in one of those pods, and then there's these robots with the tentacles and the machines, that all of these things. It's very, yeah, it's very robotic, but it's also very organic with the physiologic, yeah, with the body structures and everything. And I found, while just randomly browsing the internet, I found this jacket by Thierry Mugler, which is called the skeleton bag jacket, or it was just called for that listing. It is also sheer in the back, and it has an applique of a very organic pattern that is supposed to replicate your skeletal back. And I love that idea so much that I want to recreate it for this outfit. And so the front and back are going to be two different inspirations. And maybe it's a little bit too much, but I would like to try these things out and see how they go together. And then also, yeah, it's the color blocking, it's the Thierry Mugler. I think that's pretty much it. Yes. That is kind of the idea. So we're going to have a jacket and we're going to have a skirt. Now, what jacket, what skirt? Let's get into the patterns. Let's start with the patterns first. Go into the patterns that I'm going to utilize. Okay. We are going back a little with the skirt. I'm reusing a pattern that I have in my very first video. If you happen to have seen that, the doodle dress. It is the skirt pattern from Gertie. Again, another charm pattern. I know, a lot of charm patterns. What can I say? They fit really well and they look very good. I say while wearing two makes also made by charm patterns, but that's a different story. And I'm using the Wonder pencil skirt. Again, that's on her Patreon. So if you are interested in the pattern, you have to join her Patreon. But I'm going to hack this a lot to make it into what I want it to be. Again, trying to make a sketch for you so you can see what I'm trying to do, but also I'm going to show you the pattern hacks that I'm doing. I actually started, but I'm going to show you bit by bit what all I'm hacking for the skirt and for the jacket. Now the jacket, different story again. And we're using another fan favorite of mine, Vicky Sews. That's right. If you have not had enough of me talking about Vicky Sews, here I go again. I saw the Solange blazer on their website, and I was like, yes, that is kind of the basic starting off point that I wanted to use. So I bought the pattern, and again, I'm going to hack this a lot. So the back is going to be mainly sheer and then have the applique, the skeletal back, and then in the front, what is going to happen, I have to hack this to create that midriff look piece, which is then also going to have, I think it's going to be appliques. I think I'm going to utilize appliques on the front as well, just so it has consistency with the back. So these are the two patterns that I'm using. I'm going to show you a couple of pictures of the Solange blazer. It has pockets. It does have a collar on the top. I was thinking about hacking it into utilizing a stand collar instead, but I think I'm going to go with this collar and I'm going to hack it again. That's all the stuff that I'm thinking about, like what I'm trying to do. What I'm definitely going to change, and you're going to see that too when I demonstrate it to you, I am changing from a button-up jacket into having a straight center front. So it's like, it would be like this bolero here, where it meets in the front, and then you have a zipper. Because the iconic blazer, they have like hook and eyes tape where it closes, but I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to put in a zipper. So that is the plan for the Solange blazer made into the Persephone layout. Last, but definitely not least, now comes the exciting part, the fabrics. Okay, the fabrics. This is actually where it starts to be really fun. I did pre-wash the first fabric, which is going to be the base for both pieces. It is a simple cotton sateen by Mood Fabrics. It has stretch, as you can see. Here I go readjusting the camera. Okay. It has stretch, as you can see, right? It is pretty opaque. Yeah, it is very opaque. I have 3 yards of this one. So that is going to be my foundation. Pretty basic and maybe a little bit uninteresting for Matrix outfit. If you know, again, if you know the Matrix, and if you don't, you've now seen a couple of pictures from me. What you will notice is there's a lot of latex and a lot of shine. So the cotton sateen is very matte in its actual state, but that's where we bring in the shine, right? So I'm going to combine black with red accents, or also red panels in regards to the skirt. So I got this, which is the vinyl spandex, and I think, yeah, the Closet Historian, she used the same in black. I think she bought even this red one and made a pencil skirt out of it. And I'm thinking about, even if I can get it out of, I got 2 yards. So if I can get it out, I will also make a pencil skirt, which goes with the jacket. But for now, this is mainly going to be the accents. Like I said, 2 yards. This is super stretchy. It is 4-way stretch. And it has this, you can actually see it here. It has like this coating on top of it, right? So yeah, it is shiny, and this looks a lot like the Persephone outfit that I showed you, the hello, here are my boobies. This is going to be the highlight creating in terms of panels. What is a little bit unfortunate, and I already noticed it when it was delivered to me, it has a lot of scratches already in it, but we will work with what we have, right? Okay. I also have some lining. And I bought it just today. This is like, yeah, it is fairly sheer now that I'm looking at it, but it was only $5. And the main part of this is that it is a stretch lining, so I can use it with the cotton sateen, stretch cotton sateen with the spandex, particularly for the skirt, although I do want to line the jacket as well, I think, because of the color blocking work and yeah, all of these things where I'm like, I'm not entirely sure how to finish these without going completely overboard in terms of extra work for seam finishing. So I might just pink all the edges and then use this lining, which then gives it also a bit of a Christian Louboutin type of look. So I'm gonna have a black jacket with a red lining, black skirt with a red lining. You get the idea. And then finally, for the panel. So at first I was thinking about utilizing a nude. Well, the very first thought was getting some kind of a tulle, like a power netting, but not like the mesh type that you use for swimwear, but more the firm type, because I think that's what they utilize for the iconic blazers. And then I was like, I don't think I want to bother with this, especially because, again, this jacket is going to come from a ready-made pattern, and like fitting it in the waist area is probably too much in my head at the moment. And so I rethought the approach, and mainly I'm going for the same approach that they utilized on the skeleton jacket. When you look at the back panel, I think essentially they used organza as a basis. And so we're going to utilize organza. And since I didn't have nude, and I could have bought some nude organza, but I didn't want to, we're going to utilize black. So it's going to be a black layer, and then the red is going to sit on top of it. And as you can see here on the camera, this is already sheer enough, right? So this is not like, I think this is going to look even better because you then see that it is a panel. I think if it was too nude and too much blending in with my skin tone, it might look like there was nothing there except for the red panels, which would look cool. But I think this goes better with the overall look of this outfit. Now that you've seen this, I could technically also utilize this as a Halloween costume. I could go out as a vampire in the end. This would work, especially, and I have to make that confession right now. It's not going to be in the final video because I think they said like they're going to ship it in the new year only. But yeah, it was one of those things. I saw this bag online, and I was contemplating back and forth, and I was talking myself into, you don't need that bag. And in the end I said, but I want that bag. And I couldn't get it out of my head. I couldn't get the bag out of my head. Sometimes I'd go like, because I drop things to not do impulse buying. But when I really think about something and I keep going back to it in my mind, then I'm like, yeah, I need this in my life. So I decided I needed this in my life, and I ordered the bag, which is going to look very cool with this outfit. I already know it, but that's going to be for the new year then. Yes, that's all I got for now. We are going to get started on the pattern manipulation. I did already tape together the Solange blazer, then I traced out all the pieces again to start on the manipulation, and I also retraced the Wonder pencil skirt, because if you remember from my first video, the size that I made, and that was also it was a stretch cotton twill, and the skirt was way too big, so I cut it out one size smaller in the waist, and I think even 2 sizes smaller in the hips. I hope this is gonna work. I really hope. Yes, let's jump right on in. Working on the Persephone, and well, I've forgotten to mention this, so I'm gonna mention it now in the end. All right. The actual idea is not that this is the Matrix outfit. I'm calling this actually Glitch in the Matrix outfit. And Glitch in the Matrix, I'm calling it because of, if you remember the first movie, if you've seen the first movie and you remember the first movie, there is this scene where Neo is first guided by Morpheus into the training section of the Matrix. They're talking and everything's normal, and then he sees this gorgeous woman in this red dress, and he passes her by. He's very impressed because obviously, yeah, she looks really good. He turns around again and it's Agent Smith pointing a gun at his face. And so I thought, okay, I'm calling my outfit the Glitch in the Matrix. Yes. So there you have it. And we are going to get started without further ado. This is going to be exciting and terrifying as always. Wish me luck. I'll report back with the pattern manipulation.